Aloha class and welcome into my presentations. Um, I decided to choose the topic of techno music, just as mentioned during my introductions before we started the music courses. That I really like techno, and I thought it would be interested to go ahead and go through the genre I really like. So I'm gonna start up with the first slide with an introductions and explain the origins of technos, where it comes from. And I'm also gonna talk about one of the famous artists, is Juan Atkins. And along with that, I'm gonna add a YouTube video of one of the most famous first techno songs that this same artist, Juan, has compiled. And I'm also gonna talk about the instruments, mostly what they use in techno, and how they make their songs and everything, and show that through a video. And I'm gonna end up with one of my favorite song, that's Rise Up, as a bonus, and I just really want to share that with you. So to start up with the origins of techno, um, it techno is a form of electronic dance music that started in Detroit, Michigan, in the United States during the mid to late 1980s by Juan Atkins and some of his friends, Kevin Sandersons, Derek May, and Eddie Falkers. So the first recorded use of the word techno in reference to a genre of music was in 1988, and many styles of techno now exist, but Detroit techno is seen as the foundations upon which a number of subgenres have been built upon. The initial tech the initial tech on techno arose from the melding of popular electronic music by artists such as Kraftwerk, Giorgio Moroder, and Yellow Magic Orchestra with African American music. It includes funk, electro, Chicago house, and electric jazz. Some of techno has also been influenced by or directly infused with elements of jazz. This led to increased sophistications in the use of both rhythm and harmony in a number of techno productions. Now, so into the other slideshow, I would like to show you to Atkins, who started producing his own music under the pseudonym of Model 500, but also into under Infinity, where he mostly grew up with the souls, R&B, and funk. And in the same year, he released a seminal work entitled No UFOs, one of the first Detroit techno productions to receive wider attention and an important turning point for the music. So we're just gonna show how it sounds like for just a few seconds. So the particular music was just like I mentioned before. It was from Juan Atkins. It was pretty much the first Detroit techno productions, and it was one of the famous songs back in those times. Now, leading us to the instruments, what kind of instrument they're using. They're using a synthesizer, which is look like the picture as you see on the screen. Um, it looks very futuristic, and many techno artists will often employ the use of auto-tune software to perfect the pitches on a vocal melody, simultaneously giving the voice a more robot-like quality. At the core of every techno song is the drum beat, and the drum beat drives the progressions, which can usually be seen as the adding of layers and the reaching of a chorus. Techno music uses electronic syn- synthesizers and drum machines to replicate acoustic sounds, and that instruments replicate it vary greatly. Usually, at the song space is a drum pattern, which commonly uses sounds of an electronic drum machines. And besides of the vocals, which are usually layered with effects, electronic music uses synthesizer-based instruments almost exclusively. So here we're gonna watch a YouTube video on how to make a techno songs tutorial. So I hope you're gonna like that.
So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a basic techno or trance song. So in order to do this, we're going to go to File, we're going to go to New from Template, and go to Trance. Alright, so we got a basic template over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to work on the kick. And the kick is basically the fundamentals of the trance song, the techno song. And every basic song revolves around a kick on every four, which just basically sounds like this. So pattern 1, we'll stick with pattern 1 and we'll make pattern 1 just our kick. So come over here to the playlist, which can also be brought over by this button. So we got the playlist, we're going to rename pattern 1 to kick. Alright, so pattern 1 is kick. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to go back to the step sequencer and we're going to go to pattern 2 and we're going to work on the open hat. So the open hat is just open symbol, it sounds like that. And so we're going to put an open hat on every third. And now pattern 2 is our open hat. Pattern 3, we can usually just put like a clap or something like that, but snare drum's alright, it'll do the job. So we'll go, as you can see we're on pattern 3, put 2 right there. Now you can see it won't really sound like much, but when these percussion patterns are combined, they will have a unique sound. So you can just kind of paint them over on here on the playlist, however you wish. And so we have a kick, an open hat, and finally snare. So snare. Pattern 4, maybe you want to start with the melodies, you want to start with the synths. As you can see, they give us light speed, Euro gates, sweeps, trance bass. You're not limited to this. Always remember you can install new VSTs, new samples, drum beats, drum sounds, whatever you want. But someone that just started with FL Studio, these are the basics that they start with. So you can just go on trance bass, and if you want to create a melody, you go on piano roll. So we're on piano roll. So as you can see, we have access to all the keys and how we wish to create this melody. But let's just create something basic. Alright, so now we have pattern 4 as trance bass. Let's rename that. You don't need to always rename it, but it helps you, especially if you have a large song, you would want everything to be organized. And so by renaming it, you can help it become more organized. So if we want to hear only the song, click on song up there, click on play. As you can see, it's just a basic techno. And you can just play around with it however you wish, add different bass lines, you know, you can come into here mess around with the melody or create a new melody. But these are the fundamentals of a techno song. You have a kick on every four usually. You have an open hat. You have a clap, two claps. You have the bass line. You have the melodies, and you want to stick with a tempo that's around maybe 135 to 145 beats per minute BPM. That's a tempo up here. So those are the basics on the techno song. Thanks for watching my tutorial, and
All right. So as you see, was just a little samples of how we um, play, how we set up techno songs, and how you can do it if you're ever interested. So for this last slide, I'd like to show you one of my favorite songs. It goes YouTube on Rise Up from Yves Rock, and it's also techno songs. I really like it. I used to listen to at least once a day, and if you can just go ahead and watch that. Let's just start up and put it play. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you like the presentations. As you can see, um, the techno music has really developed from the 1980 up to today, and it's gotten very popular and famous throughout the United States and especially in Europe. So thank you so much for watching, and mahalo. So let me get out.